Hello, I'm Skye Taylor, and welcome to Coffee with Skye, Q&A. That's question and answers. That's where you, the viewer, ask the questions, and I do my best to answer them. But remember, it's only my opinion. Okay, the first question comes from Brian Post. On this size painting, and he means a 3/4 inch thick painting, a canvas that's 3/4 inch thick. On this size painting, what color do you paint the sides of the canvas? Well, that's a good question. 3/4 inch painting, what I usually do is just paint it black around the edge, because 3/4 inch paintings technically do not really look good hanging on a wall. They're not thick enough. But a lot of people still do that, and it's not wrong. But when it comes to a 3/4 inch painting, I would always suggest that they frame it, a frame to add thickness to it. You know, paintings that thick, 3/4 inches, always look better framed. But to finish it off, just paint it black. 1.5 inch canvases that are 1.5 inch thick look awesome without a frame. Again, I paint them black, but you also have the option of taking your painting and carrying it around to the edges. You could do that, like extending it around the edges. A lot of them do that. I'm not really a fan of that. I want it to just end. And I like painting the black. Now, you could also paint it a matching color if you wanted to do that. But black is universal. It seems to go with everything. And I think that, personally, I always just paint my abstracts black if I'm not carrying the picture around, or the sides. And hopefully that answered that question for you, Brian. Okay, Tracy Platt writes, I love the way you blend your colors without creating mud. I am just starting out doing abstracts, and it's not easy as it looks. Well, that's the truth. Just randomly throwing paint down. But how do you know when it's done, when it's time to stop? Well, Tracy, that's one of the hardest things as an artist, is knowing when to stop. You have to have, and it's something you will develop, you will develop your sense of that. But when you're first starting out, it's tough. We all paint. Let's face it, the very first paintings that I did, you want to keep going and going and going, because you're having so much fun, and to this day this still happens on occasion, and you don't put the brakes on. Sometimes, especially with abstracts, when it starts to look really good to you, back off. Time to pull the plug. So you have to learn how to do that feeling. It's better to stop where you're ahead than to paint too much. Like I've always said, every painting is either one brush stroke from being a masterpiece or one brush stroke away from being a disaster. And that's something you have to learn how to do. It's nothing I can really tell you. You just have to learn how to do that. So, and it's just something that has to be learned. But it's better to do less than to do too much. Okay, I was going to say something else, but you know me, I'm old. I forgot it, what I was going to say. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. Like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm sound asleep. Renee Kloss writes, I want to ask you what kind of brushes you use, what kind of bristles you use on your brushes. I ended up using my 2-inch synthetic brush and a smaller one, but they don't act like yours at all, even separated. So when that happened, I realized my painting was going in a different direction than your look. Although I'm not unhappy with it, I know that it would have had another look with different brushes. Thanks for another fun painting session. Well, the brushes that I always use, and I've said it a million times, sorry if I'm boring, but I use the chip brushes. They're boar bristle brushes. You can buy them at Walmart, any home improvement store. It's a wooden handle with white, 100% pure boar bristle. And What's the difference between the synthetic brush and the boar bristle brush is this. The synthetic brush, all the bristles will always stay together. They don't usually spread out. So what happens is that gives you a different type of look, where the boar bristles, the more you use them, they tend to spread out a little bit. Well, what happens is when they spread out and you're painting, you can create a bunch of different lines. You get different feel and different textures. You can use the side of the brush, and it's just an altogether different type of brush. It absorbs the paint better because it's more of a bristle. I don't know why, but it seems to do that. But by soaking it, you're not allowing the pigments to be sucked up into the bristles. You're keeping them on the edge of the bristles. And it creates a different type painting, and it's a very, very inexpensive brush. You're talking like 55 cents for a 2-inch brush or whatever. You might pay $1 for it or less. It's not expensive. And the good thing is that if you leave it out and it dries, you don't have to worry about it. Throw it away. Throw it over the fence into your neighbor's yard. But they're inexpensive, where synthetic brushes can get more expensive depending on what you use. But for abstracts, I highly recommend the 2-inch boar bristle chip brush, available in the painting section of Walmart. You'll know what it looks like. They're white bristles on a wooden handle. Not expensive, or any home improvement store. Sometimes you can get packages of them really cheap. But you got to have that in your arsenal if you're painting abstracts. That's the only way to paint them, I'm telling you. I mean, in my opinion. Okay, one more question we have from Alternative Them. Let me have a cup of coffee. A little cold, folks. Okay, one more question here from Alternative Avenues Info. Hey, Skye. When you tone your canvas, how long do you typically allow it to dry before you start painting? I so appreciate your tips, and the demonstrations are very inspiring. Thanks. Love you, man. Patty P. Okay, Patty. Usually what I'll do is I'll paint the canvas and let it dry for an hour. You want to kind of fully dry, and you can also use a hair dryer on it if you want to rush it. With a hair dryer, you could probably have it done in 10 minutes easy. So that's all we have time for today. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you hate it, give me a thumbs up anyways. What the heck? I'm doing the best I can. A little under the weather the last few weeks, trying to recover. But nothing a good cup of coffee won't cure. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because we have a lot of different tips and tricks. We're not your conventional, as you probably already know, most of you that have subscribed to me, we go beyond, I go beyond. I'll teach you how to paint. I'll give you inspirational videos. I'll give you tips and trick videos. I'll sit down and have a cup of coffee with you and just answer your questions. And if you have any questions, please ask. I'll do the best I can to answer. If I can't answer it, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to give you an answer that I don't know. But again, this is my opinion. If you love the video, subscribe. Thank you very much for joining us on this question and answer. And stay tuned. Lots more videos coming. Thank you for watching. Blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, that was interesting.